Hey guys, welcome back to Teal Homestead. Today it is a very rainy day outside and I'm going to be making some white rabbit chili. So far what I've done with my rabbit is I just put the whole rabbit in the Instant Pot and pressure cooked it on high for an hour and a half. And now I just pulled it out and we are waiting on it to cool so I can take all of the bones out and then use all of the shredded rabbit to put into my chili. So white rabbit chili is essentially almost identical to white chicken chili. Rabbit is just a lot lower in fat and higher in protein than chicken, but essentially it tastes about the same. This is one of those meals that is like really good, like comfort food, and it's honestly really easy to make as well. And you can doctor it depending on what your taste preferences are and what you have available to you. Today I'm just making my basic recipe with heavy cream, spices, bone broth, and it's gonna be really good. So I hope you guys follow along and let me know what you think of it if you do try to make it. So first off, I just take my rabbit out of the Instant Pot and I'm going to be deboning it here. Rabbits have really little bones, so I like to be really thorough and try to get them all out. It's not always possible because sometimes there's just little bones that are left over. It happens, but I do try to be as thorough as I can. This was about a 3-pound dressed out rabbit. If we want to, we can actually roast these bones and reuse them for bone broth. So I usually put my bones in a Ziploc bag, and then once I have a good stockpile going on, I'll reuse them and make some bone broth with them. So once we have all of our rabbit deboned and shredded, we're just gonna put that off to the side, and you can either refrigerate it for later use or you can use it immediately. So the first thing you want to do for your white rabbit chili is you want to finely dice 1 onion. I prefer sweet onions. And then also you want to get garlic in there. You want to finely dice your garlic up. We like garlic around here, so I usually go with like around 5 cloves or so. You can lessen this or add more if you want more. I feel like this is a good amount though, because when recipes call for garlic and they call for like 2 cloves, I find myself adding twice that much. So for my white rabbit chili, I prefer to use a Dutch oven just because I feel like it cooks things more evenly. So first we're gonna add our onion in there. Also, fun fact, but cooking with cast iron actually puts more iron in your food. Gonna add a little bit of olive oil, I would say about a tablespoon or so, and we're gonna put the heat on medium. We want to make sure that we don't burn our onions. We just want them to get a little translucent, and this usually takes about 4 or 5 minutes. While our onions are cooking down, we're gonna go ahead and add all of our spices to this bowl. We're gonna do 1.5 teaspoons of cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. I prefer smoked paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, 1/2 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Gonna mix that up nice and good. And then we're gonna set that aside for adding to our chili later. So now that our onions are looking translucent, they are starting to cook, we're gonna go ahead and add our minced garlic in. After we sauteed our garlic for about 30 seconds, we're gonna go ahead and add 4 cups of bone broth to the mix. My bone broth was just made and never refrigerated, so that's why it's liquidy. If you haven't watched my bone broth video, I would highly recommend going and checking that video out because I show you how to make a delicious, nutritious bone broth out of rabbit bones. This is literally one of my favorite things to add to this white rabbit chili. Diced green chilies, and usually we get the medium ones. And I don't drain them or anything, I just add them like the whole can in there because I feel like the juice even makes it really good. But yeah, we're gonna open both of these cans. These are 4-ounce cans and we're just gonna add them straight to the chili. green chilies have been added in, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my seasoning mixture that we just mixed up a little bit ago and just stirred that straight into it. So with the spices in our chili, we are going to keep the heat on medium and we're gonna let this simmer for around 10 minutes. We don't want it to boil, we just want it to be on a low simmer so all of those flavors kind of combine into each other. And while we're letting our chili simmer, I'm gonna go ahead and drain my beans. And these are the two types of beans that I have for my chili here. We've got Great Northern beans, and I want to drain these and rinse them off because we don't want the liquid that these beans are in, so we just want the beans. So we're gonna rinse them off, and then we have a mixed chili bean can here. I like all of the colors of all of the beans in here. There's kidney beans, pinto beans, black beans, and they're in chili sauce. But again, I don't want the sauce that they're in right now because I want my chili to stay white. So I'm gonna rinse off the chili sauce off of these beans, which is blasphemy to some people, but that's what I'm gonna do. So I want my chili to stay white. So we're gonna rinse our beans and we're gonna set them aside until this has simmered for around 10 minutes, and then we'll add them in there. So our chili's been simmering for about 10 minutes now. So we're gonna add our beans. 1 cup of heavy cream. And 1 1/4 cup of frozen or fresh corn. And now we're gonna let this simmer for about 5 more minutes. We're kind of in the home stretch for making the chili, so I am gonna go ahead and make some grilled cheese because I feel like grilled cheese goes really well with chili. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do while I simmer it for another 5 to 10-ish minutes. If I was a really good homesteader, I would be making my grilled cheese with homemade sourdough, but I'm not there yet. I've made bread in the past, but today I'm just feeling a little bit lazy, so we got the store-bought stuff. We do, however, make our own mayonnaise. So this is our mayo. It is half olive oil and half vegetable oil mayonnaise. It's really hard to make mayonnaise with anything but vegetable or canola oil because I feel like it doesn't turn out super good. So if anybody has any tips for that in the comments to make olive oil mayonnaise not taste disgusting, I would love to hear that. But why are we using mayonnaise? Well, I use mayonnaise to make my grilled cheese. So instead of butter, I'll put a thin layer of mayonnaise on each side of my pieces of bread. And that's what toasts the bread from the outside. Because if you think about it, mayonnaise is really just oil. So this is how I make my grilled cheeses and to make them look really pretty. So we got our bread all mayoed on one side, and we've got a big old block of cheddar cheese here that I'm gonna be using to shred up for our grilled cheese. I don't like buying pre-sliced cheese very much, so we're gonna be shredding it ourselves, and I feel like it melts really nicely when you shred it and put it on the grilled cheese. So this is what I usually do. With our pan on medium heat, again, we're gonna lay these mayonnaise side down, or if you have butter and you did butter side down. We're gonna add our shredded cheese on top. And we're gonna top them off with the mayonnaise side up. And to get my cheese to melt a little bit faster, I like to tint my pan with some aluminum foil. Look at this. It looks so good. I'm so hungry right now. So now that it's been about 5 minutes, we're gonna add about 2.5 cups of our cooked rabbit to the mix. I just measured that out. I'm gonna put all of that in there. And that was about half of my rabbit that I had cooked earlier. So we're gonna mix that in to the chili. Jameson is coming in here to taste test because I feel like I might have made it too spicy for him.
Ah, as good as ever.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm. It's got the right amount of spice. Keeps your mouth feeling warm for a while. Bye, guys.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you try my recipe, make sure to comment down below. Let me know how you liked it. This is definitely a favorite here, especially on these rainy days. It's been raining all day, so I'm looking forward to eating this for sure. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.